Hey guys, this is Young Kaido, and welcome to my review for One Piece Chapter 859. So I apologize for the lack of uploads recently, but let's just get right into the video. So at the beginning of the chapter, we start off with the Straw Hats, the Fire Tank Pirates, and the Caesar Clown Alliance, or otherwise known as Gangster Casino, which I thought was quite hilarious, even coming into last chapter, the comedy that Caesar's been bringing. I honestly forgot how funny of a character he was. I digress. So essentially, they're kind of devised their plan to take out Big Mom. And Capone lets everyone know that most situations, Big Mom is completely unscratchable or undamageable. But the plan that Capone has kind of come up with exploits that one instance that essentially that he's seen Big Mom get injured. And what that instance was is allegedly there's this photo of Big Mom's savior, as they say, named Mother Carmel. And apparently she just keeps a photo of Mother Carmel in front of her every single wedding and she just looks at it. And a lot of people have made some pretty interesting theories about this. A lot of them have been Harry Potter related, that the photo of Mother Carmel is actually like a Horcrux almost, so that if you destroy the Horcrux, then you can somehow defeat Big Mom. I don't know how much it is about that theory, or the other theory was that it's like a picture of Dorian Gray. Dorian Gray essentially stores his aging into a photograph. But I also don't think that's it either because Big Mom quite clearly is aged. What I personally think about the photograph is I think that the photograph is just something that's important to Big Mom, and that when someone, when Pick Capone or whatever gets her into that state where she's freaking out of the photograph, I think it's almost a little bit like Hunter x Hunter. So in Hunter x Hunter, you have the different types of Nen categories, right? And you can't overexert yourself in one Nen category because it affects another Nen core, the power of another Nen category. And so what I think is similar to the hockey. I think that if you're using such an excessive amount of Conqueror's hockey, which I believe is what happens, and Capone even said it himself that Big Mom uses Conqueror's hockey. I think that she overexerts her use of Conqueror's hockey, which nullifies her use of Armament hockey. And so that's what I think that is. I think that she's used her Conquerors to such a high level that she can't handle the Armament as well. And I think that that's why Big Mom was shown to have gotten scratches on her knees and stuff like that when she fell to the ground. I don't think it really has anything to do with the theories that people have said. But anyway, so once they plan on destroying that picture of Mother Carmel, they plan on shooting Big Mom with this RPG like thing with a poison tip that has organophosphates. The translator notes that organophosphates can kill a human with using only a zero point 0.6 milligram dosage, and this RPG has a 5 milligram or 5 gram dosage. Sorry, so they're really going for the kill shot with this one. I just think it's hilarious how again Caesar Clown is being brought into this, and he's a great character. But anyway, so they want to shoot Big Mom with this rocket, and hopefully the poison will take her out. That's what their plan is? And they said they have, I think, 10 seconds that they can attack Big Mom before one of her commanders or something like that will be on their case. So that'll be really interesting. A lot of people don't think that the plan's gonna go off, and I kind of agree, but I don't think it's gonna go as catastrophic as everyone thinks it is. I think what's gonna happen is that a lot of people are going to get taken out by Big Mom's hockey personally, and that um, it's going to leave an opening for maybe someone to fight. Like I think even Capone might get taken out by the hockey, and then maybe Luffy has to fight Big Mom so that they can escape. I really can't see Capone making it out of there. Another thing is Luffy said he's going to create a distraction, right? But he wants Capone to be involved with it somehow. And so I'm really interested to see what Luffy's distraction is because he takes this quite jovially and he's laughing about it. Meanwhile, everyone else is being like, "What are you talking about? This is a life or death situation." So I feel like if Luffy is that, I mean, he's always quite confident, but I feel like if he's that confident in this plan, I feel like it might not be that bad. We've definitely seen Luffy's more logistical acumen definitely progress within this arc, and then he's definitely, thinking more strategically than he used to. And finally, we see within this first scene, we see Brule is trying to snitch on everyone, trying to figure out a way to let Big Mom know. I think that's probably going to be what the issue is with the plan. I think that everything's going to be about to go to plan, and then Brule somehow is able to convey to Big Mom what's going to happen, and then Luffy comes into this situation where everyone's kind of like trapped by Big Mom almost, or maybe in a sticky situation with Big Mom, and Luffy, basically has to completely adapt to a whole different plan. I'm not quite sure though. It'll definitely be interesting to see what happens at the Tea Party. I think Oda's trying to make it, as unpredictable as possible. So I think that's quite cool. And then also the last part of the plan there is that it's an every man for themselves. So once they get out of there, Caesar, Capone, and Luffy. Although I do agree that Caesar will probably join the Fire Take Pirates, it's essentially an every man for themselves. And it's clear at this point, a lot of people speculated that maybe Capone will go after Kaido with them. I don't think Capone's going to have anything to do with the Straw Hats for a while. And I think if it's going to have anything to do with the Straw Hats again, I think it's going to have something to do with Capone trying to kill Luffy. I don't think Capone will ever work with Luffy again. Anyway, so moving on now, we go to the rest of the townspeople preparing. And we see a lot of the townspeople just having conversations. They're all celebrating. And I think, the reason they're celebrating is because most weddings, other than the Mother Carmel incident, I think most weddings have gone pretty flawlessly. So they're used to a wedding day being a massive day for celebration. So I think that's why they're kind of preemptively celebrating, even though I don't think this wedding's going to go as well as the others. Now, the one thing that was interesting to me is they said that some people had arrived from, I'm not sure if it's the roof-led conglomerate or the ruffled conglomerate. And so the way I see that is there's two ways you can have it. If it's the ruffled conglomerate, I think that the ruffled conglomerate, Doflamingo was had that ruffled scarf. This is a bit of a far fetch, but I think that it might be the ruffled conglomerate. Might If it's ruffled, I think it might be an underworld conglomerate of brokers such as Doflamingo, and I think Doflamingo might have been part of it. If that's not the case, I think maybe if it's the roof led, like maybe a more last name sounding as opposed to like ruffled. If it's roof led, because it was spelled quite particularly, I'll have to look at the translation on Monday, obviously. But if it is roof led, I think it might be like an organization similar to the Gestapo, like not quite a because obviously they wouldn't be connected to Germa, but I think it might be more of like an underground military, kind of like the Gestapo, like kind of, I guess, like Germa 6, but not quite. Maybe more working specifically with the underworld, because I know that not all of Germa 6's goals pertain to the underworld, so I think maybe they're kind of like an underworld army. Maybe I'm wrong. Obviously, I'm not quite sure what the ruffled conglomerate is. We haven't really gotten too much information. But I thought that was quite interesting that they were noted and that they were talking about high class with them in the same sentence. So I thought that was quite interesting. Now, finally, we've got Big Mom's people talking to the German. As the German are getting ready for the wedding, you see them mention, "Where's Reiju? Where's Reiju?" And one of Big Mom's men tries to slyly say, "Oh, she got ready in another room." As if I feel like the German would be suspicious about that, but maybe not. They seem quite oblivious, to be honest with you. I think they're more focused on power than intelligence, other than Judge, obviously. Now, finally, we get to the last 2 pages, and I think the best gag of the entire chapter was, of course, Brooke and Big Mom's gag there, where Big Mom thought that a skeleton who was already dead had died again. So I think it was pretty obvious that Big Mom wasn't going to notice that Brooke was gone. And I'm glad, because it just would have really put things in a weird kind of place. So I'm glad, and I think it was a really funny gag. And as we all know, Big Mom cares about food more than anything, so I thought that was quite a funny joke. And then the final page, we have Pudding. And we see that Pudding is being a massive bitch, as per usual, because she's complaining. No, not complaining because she's nervous for a wedding, or not complaining because, she's got a lot of responsibility. She's complaining because of all the people's memories she's going to have to wipe after this wedding, because she wants to maintain looking like a good girl. Now, I think there's also more to it than that. I saw an interesting theory on the One Piece Reddit talking about how Mother Carmel, obviously this ties into the earlier part of the video, but how Mother Carmel was actually Pudding's mother, and that Pudding, and that Pudding convinced or used her memory manipulation on Big Mom to think that she was her daughter and that Mother Karma was her idol, so that she looked really highly towards Pudding. I'm not quite sure, but I think that maybe Pudding had some mind manipulation on Big Mom, especially since she's saying she has to do it to everyone. She would have kind of left out Big Mom potentially, but who knows? Anyway, great chapter again. 4 out of 5, I would say. It's a good setup chapter. Obviously, I think we probably have about 2 or 3 more chapters until the wedding starts. I'm thinking it'll probably start around 865, but I'm not quite sure. Anyway, like I said, 4 out of 5 in the chapter. Let me know in the comments below, especially about the Mother Carmel stuff. If anyone has a theory on Mother Carmel, please leave it in the comments below. I'd be really interested to see what you guys have to say about that. And anyway, if you liked anything I had to say in the video, please hit the like button. And if you like any of the content I post on my channel, hit subscribe, and I'll see you later.